My rule, their dignity was not affronted. They were never arrested. They were never insulted. They were never harassed.
Mr. Mahal,
therefore,
with all due respect, no, that's not good enough.
It's your judgment.
When the law says to me, Eusebius McKaiser, as a gay man, what you do is illegal and it's immoral, that is undermining my dignity. The fact that behind the scenes you call up a policeman and say, dude, don't arrest Eusebius on the streets, it's not good enough, because the message that the law signals in itself affirms homophobia, and for that you should take moral accountability.
I agree that the law that says that is wrong, but I've told you that I wasn't willing to, yes, oh yes, no apologies, no apologies.
Mr. Bahati, yes. David Bahati.
And I did not make the law.
Mr. Mahai, even Mr. Mahai has said, although he was in power, he didn't want to do this or that on the law, he says your law goes too far. Just tell us why you feel that your anti-homosexuality bill, strengthening the current laws in Uganda whereby homosexuality is already punishable by up to 14 years in prison, why you feel that needs strengthening?
Our constitution prohibits same-sex marriage, and this law is coming in to have a corresponding law that will punish same-sex marriage. That's number one. The second one, we have a problem of recruitment.
So you're saying that your bill is opposed to the recruitment of minors by adult homosexuals?
Yes, and it has four core elements.
So it's about paedophilia, it's not about homosexuality then?
It has four elements.
I'll just ask you, is it about paedophilia? You have spoken before about the existence of videos that show the recruitment, in your view, your claims, that there are these adult homosexuals who are targeting minors. Just put the flesh on the bones. What exactly do you mean?
We have evidence, and we are not obliged to present this evidence to this audience. Listen, I am a member, listen, I am a member.
David, to have to take the stage like this.
No. I'm going to give you a chance. Okay, wait, let's see. I'm going to come to somebody from Uganda. Okay, wait. Okay, wait.
Whether you make whatever amount of noise, I cannot allow our children, Ugandan children, to be recruited into homosexuality. I will never allow it.
Wait.
Whether you allow it or not.
Wait. Paula, is there anything in your work in health and sexual reproductive rights? You've lived in several countries in Africa. Are you aware of this kind of active recruitment campaign which David Bahati claims is in existence?
I'm not personally aware of it, no. I think sexual coercion of any kind is a problem, but there's no reason why we need to frame it within the homosexuality, mindset. It's got nothing to do with being gay.
Fikile is from the Association of African Lesbians.
It is a coalition of African lesbians, which is an organization that works on the whole continent. We are working to defend and promote the rights of lesbian women, bisexual women, transgender people on the whole continent. And we are Africans. I stand here as an African person. I cannot allow a conversation to go on insulting me and telling me that I'm not an African. You're actually not even insulting me. You're insulting my ancestors.
That's not what I'm saying.
You understand me?
No one has suggested that you are an African. But if you believe in homosexuality, then you are believing in something that is an African. So that's what we are saying.
Let me start by indicating how disappointed I am for David Bahati to be treated in the manner in which he was treated. He is a member of parliament in his country. The respect that he receives in his country must be meted out to him in this country.
Okay, all right. Caleb, you are a member of a Christian political party of young people here in South Africa. You've got 3 members of parliament.
Number one, everybody seated here is confusing the fact here. The issue is not about the hatred or the acceptance thereof. The matter is it African or not? Now, the truth, listen. Yeah. The truth of the matter is, let us conduct this debate in an orderly manner, in a family setup, in a family setup. And as much as you want to unravel the true fabric of being African by saying that being gay is acceptable or being lesbian is, it is totally against the morals of an African family.
My name is Amina Frenzy. I'm African and Muslim and a woman and probably straight. But I'm appalled at some of the views that we have heard here. Are we not signatories to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights? And if that is the case, you know, why are we not brought to book for not adhering to some of the very universal principles that we're adhering to? That's very basic.
I'm Nemo Malachi from the ACDP Youth Foundation. I'm the National Secgen. There are obviously biblical reasons against homosexuality, but there are also non-biblical reasons, such as thousands of years of traditional male-female marriages across the cultures and religions, the effect of public health catastrophe among homosexual men, the fact of numerous studies showing the importance of to children of a father and mother. Inasmuch as polygamy is not allowed in America and stuff, and we do not impose it upon them because of human rights, they cannot impose their culture upon us due to human rights.
I am Mazibuko Jaka, a straight African male with deep rural roots. It's clear to me that the answer to the Bahatis of this world is Africans like me rising up against them to say to them, what they stand for is not for us. We must make it clear as Africans across the world, across the continent, that we want equality, we want freedom, we want no discrimination, we want no ignorance of the type we have seen.
Okay, panel, I want you just to make your final points on this question of, is homosexuality un-African, and if so, what do you think should be done about it? David Bahati, start with you.
One member from the audience said that we are all subscribing to a universal declaration of human rights. Not at the UN, not at the African Union, have all countries said that we are subscribing to a sexual orientation, a right of sexual orientation of any kind. That's the reason why in some countries homosexuality is a human right, in other countries not a human right. And we respect each other. It's a mutual respect. You can do it the way you do it in South Africa, we respect that. But leave us in Uganda, we cannot allow homosexuality to be practiced. The final point, if I may, I leave South Africa with my heart bleeding.
Festus Mogai.
I can't understand why we say homosexuality is un-African when there is evidence that it has always existed in Africa and it exists today as it does elsewhere in the world. And therefore it appears to me that homosexuality, whether we understand it or not, or like it or not, is as African as it is European, as it is Asian. That's one. So our way of doing things in Botswana is to try to persuade. And my participation in this forum today, I was hoping that we would discuss without too much excitement, because we would try to persuade the rest of Africa and show them that their homophobia is unjustified. But unfortunately, we became too excited, emotionally affected. They stood up, they shouted those who disagreed with them. Then it appears that we are using intolerance to fight intolerance. So I thought maybe that a little presentationally.
Paula, your view on what you've heard and how things can move forward?
Well, I think when you said that you're going to leave with a bleeding heart, that really captured my sentiments. And I think for everyone in this room, regardless of which side of the camp you stand on, people are going to leave here today with bleeding hearts, or at least with a balance of negative emotions, because that's what hatred does to us. Rwanda was one of only 2 countries that spoke out at the United Nations in December last year. I'm from Rwanda, which is a conservative country, yes, but spoke out to say that we shouldn't discriminate against people based on their sexual orientation. Because in Rwanda, we have too recently felt just how bitter the sting of that intolerance can be, because hatred is a double-edged sword. So I mean, call me a conspiracy theorist, but I can't help but wonder if this obsession that's arisen lately with whipping people up into frenzies over ideological lines of sexual orientation in this continent is really a way of distracting us from the bigger issues that we're fighting, like, you know, food insecurity, the state of our health systems, the plundering of our natural resources. Diversity will always be with us, but intolerance and hatred, that is a choice. So if we can agree that love is the fundamental basis of Christianity, if we can agree that Ubuntu is the fundamental basis of being an African, it's togetherness, it's solidarity, if we can agree that God, however you define him or her, respects free will of all human beings, then why can't we just choose love and tolerance so we can move forward and talk about the things that really matter?
Gay people should, I think, in the African continent, don't rub it in our faces. We are still finding it difficult to accept that a man or a woman and a woman should kiss in public or do the other things a man and a woman should do. So please, I think you should just leave it. Well, I don't know if I work elsewhere in Europe or whatever, but in Africa, I think.
Okay. Yubi.
But in Africa.
Yubi.
I want to make 2 points in closing, Zainab. The first is that I must say I'm deeply disappointed with the South Africans in the audience who are supportive of the sentiments, if not the bill, that David is proposing. And the reason for that is that, and it links up with Paula's example of the Rwandese experience, we haven't yet forgotten the scars of apartheid and what it meant as black people in this country to have your humanity reduced to something else. And yet, what short memories we have, because our own experiences of being discriminated against on the grounds of race, which is analogous to sexual discrimination, doesn't somehow make people reflect on why all forms of prejudice are bad. The second point I want to put on the table in closing is to say really to David this, that I think we're in danger of being over-intellectual. We talk about, is it African, is it not African? Is the anthropological experience predating Christians' arrival or not? I don't care about those things. We're forgetting the humanity of this, David. For me, if you look at Frank and his partner, if you want to talk about my own experiences with my partners, it's the same love that you are experiencing. It's the same trials and tribulations in my personal life. I'm not harming you. All I'm asking for is to give me the private space to live a loving relationship with another person of my own choosing.
All right, well, clearly the gulf still exists between the two camps in this debate. Is homosexuality un-African? I hope we've shed both heat and light on this topic of being gay in Africa, thanks to our panel, our studio audience, and to you, wherever you are, for watching. From me, Zainab Badawi in Johannesburg. Goodbye.